Dr. Strengoit here, 3 weeks before HHN 29 begins. Welcome back to Strengoit Legion. So, we officially have 4 original houses coming to this year's event. Let me begin by discussing my hype list for the houses. Now, a little warning, there's no way this list is going to stay accurate by the end of the event, especially with the original houses, as I really don't know what to expect. We have very little details on them. So I'm going to separate out my hype list for the original houses and my hype list for the IP properties. So, for the original houses, at number 4, I have Yeti, Terror of the Yukon. Now, a lot of people might be surprised that I placed this solo on the list. Okay, let me give you a little background. What I most enjoy about the haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights is the set design and the costume design. The thing I look forward to the most is not the scare factor. So, somebody else might have a completely opposite list from what I have. I don't know what to expect out of the set design for Yeti, Terror of the Yukon. One thing I do expect out of this house is it might be one of the scariest houses this year. Picture the Swamp Yeti scene out of Slaughter Cinema at last year's event. But what do we know about Yeti, Terror of the Yukon? Deep in the remote tundra of the Yukon, loggers and trappers seek refuge from the frigid grip of an Arctic blizzard. But out in the darkness, a terror lurks, far more dangerous than the deluge of snow and ice. These unfortunate souls have intruded into a territory that is haunted by their worst nightmares. Enter a logging camp that's been torn apart, floors caked with snow, bones and gore. Right outside, screams are frozen on the faces of those who fled the towering monsters only to succumb to the elements. But there is no escape from beasts as brutal as the winter. Just when you thought the only thing to fear was the elements, an icy terror will descend over you. Cringe at the trail of blood leading to caves none have lived to see. As you enter the labyrinth of caves, you'll hear the screaming echoes of those who couldn't escape the inevitable. If you survive long enough to see the end, you're likely to find the remains of those who came before you and met their same demise. You're in Yeti territory now. They're stone cold vicious and will stop at nothing for a taste of blood. If the cold doesn't get you, they will. So, given that description, this could be a terrifying house at Halloween Horror Nights. Could be on the level with Scarecrow the Reaping from a couple years back. But we'll have to wait and see. So at number 3 on my hype list for the original houses, I have Depths of Fear. I don't know exactly what to expect from this house. However, this is what Universal has told us so far. The workers of a deep-sea mining company have found themselves in a dire situation. They've delved too deep and encountered a parasitic race of creatures that turn out to be deadly. Panic ensues as you find yourself encountering infected miners and acidic creatures. The pressure builds as the self-destruct sequence counts down to the inevitable implosion of the facility. As you venture further into the depths, you'll encounter the creatures known only as the Mouth Brooders. Picture being trapped in a claustrophobic mining installation underwater with a countless number of these slithering monsters. Your worst nightmares will come to life as these fiends spew flesh-eating acidic eggs at human hosts, and you witness miners being driven mad by the infection. At number 2 on my hype list for the original houses, I have Nightingale's Blood Pit. Now, we do know a little bit more about this house. Why? Because the Nightingales are a returning original property for Halloween Horror Nights. But what do we know about this year's house? Well, let's see what Universal have told us so far. Ancient Rome is suffering its worst drought in centuries. The ruthless emperor has declared the gladiatorial games to continue non-stop until the rains return. The gruesome bloodshed of the games is horrifying enough, but then come the creatures. As the blood soaks into the earth, the nightingales feed on the dead and dying. The nightingales are a grisly race of creatures that have been here since the dawn of time. You may think you're familiar with their past feeding frenzies, but you haven't seen them like this. You'll try to survive alongside the gladiators as the ravenous nightingales tear into their victims and notice that fresh blood has come into their midst. Okay, so 2 things I think we can expect from this house. First, the nightingales, which we know are an awesome creature the Universal created in a past year's event. And second, I expect this to be one of the gory houses this year. So, what do we have at my number 1 on the hype list for the original houses? Graveyard Games. In the Ascension Parish Cemetery, it's normal to find teens playing amongst the tombstones. You'll find yourself witnessing the repercussions of the disrespectful antics of 2 teens who awaken the spirits of the dead. As you roam through the cemetery, you'll wind through dark mausoleums and decaying piles of coffins. Ghosts of every shape and form will rise from the tombstones to exact their revenge as you try to escape the maze of crumbling tombstones and mausoleums. Skeletal beings, ghastly apparitions, and vengeful spirits will try to drag you to the grave. And in the end, you'll find out what happened to those who set out to deface the cemetery. Before you enter the haunted house, take the opportunity to chat with a few of the local teens and storytellers of the town. Starting September 6th, all you need is your phone and open Facebook Messenger to the Howling Horror Nights page. You'll learn the history and spooky legends the cemetery keeps. Better to be prepared for what awaits than find yourself coming to a dead end. Alright, so first we have the aesthetic of the graveyards and the mausoleums. The traditional Halloween type aesthetic, which I am always ecstatic to find at Halloween Horror Nights. And second, it appears there is going to be some interactivity as you're waiting in the lines for this house. Exactly what to expect from that, we'll have to wait until the event begins. So, that's my hype list for the 4 original houses coming to HHN 29. What's your hype list for the originals? What are you hoping to see in each of these haunted houses? Let me know in the comments down below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button.